Hello everybody, today is Saturday, October the 12th, 2013. My name is Michael Wright, and this is the Weekend Elliottwave video. Just before going forward, please do pause the recording and read over the risk disclaimer. Alright, let's jump right into the markets. A bit of consolidation across the board as the continued back and forth amongst lawmakers in the U.S. continues as the U.S. tries to end its 12-day government shutdown. So, with this still in the headlines, expecting still some volatile markets or just range-bound price action. We see this across the board. Looking at Aussie dollar, for example, no real movement, but we will be watching the descending trend line that has been intact since the 95.20 highs. Currently, price action is right under there, but a break above with a 4-hour close could open up topside into 95.40. And then even on the bigger picture, looking at the Aussie dollar, there's a bigger topside ceiling, so to say, around 97.20, which is a 50% Fibonacci retracement on the 106 to the 85.50 lows. Okay, so a 4-hour close above there is what we're looking for continued gains higher. At the same time, we already have that breakout in the Kiwi. All right, hence the late Friday position. This is something we've been looking at for quite some time, and already had the topside break, and now looking for 83.80. With that being said, depending on how prices across the board really come to fruition, may end up closing that out around 83.80 and booking profits, or just revising those targets as there could be possible continued gains to the top side, looking at that 84.90 highs, which is the 161.8% Fibonacci extension on the daily time frame, and that will mark a C wave extension. Worth noting that we did break above the 100% fib, came back to find support. So this is something, or this is a pair in which I was comfortable taking, though I'm not too much of a fan taking trades on a Friday in the U.S. Session, as liquidity tends to dry up. But something we've been watching out, a nice triangle break topside. So may end up going ahead and revising to 84.90. That will give you about 170 pip target. Whereas for the Aussie, Aussie is a whole lot higher, looking at 97. So just about 300 pips. And with that being said, Aussie Kiwi is a pair we will keep very close eyes on. So far, it is holding the descending trend line on the daily time frame that has been intact since June. We already seen some divergence developing from the lows. Could it continue to the downside? Indeed, but if we do get a breakout higher, then I will be looking for a 4-hour and then a daily close above 114.20 for longs. Looking for 118. It could go a lot higher than that, but obviously we'll look for a back test from there as a buying opportunity for continued gains further. Now, looking at Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, or just the crosses in general, is interesting because we do see continued downside. For example, Euro Aussie could continue its down momentum into 137.11. However, looking at the 4-hour time frame, okay, a setback is more ideal. We already had a false breakout to the top side. I think when it broke, I actually front run this pair, and I went to break even when it broke. Didn't expect it to come back, but it did. But anyway, it got stopped out at break even. But it is still holding that 78.6 fib for some support. So if it does, then we could see your Aussie head into 145 or even 147 before downside. But then at the same time, you still have that other viewpoint looking at that daily time frame where it could continue its downward shot. Same thing goes for the pound Aussie, right? Pound Aussie has seen a lot of background to the downside, so we could end up seeing 167.29 or even 162 before another move higher. We see the RSI momentum divergence, the bearish divergence, which basically call for this turnaround, and that will give credence or give a add color to the bleak picture on the Aussie so far. Whereas on the Aussie, we are still waiting for that 4-hour trendline break to the top side. So with that being said, gonna probably stay pat on the crosses, Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, Euro Kiwi, Pound Kiwi for now, and really monitor the majors, Aussie, Euro, Kiwi, Dollar Yen. That's a pair I'm a little bit upset at right now. But if we could backtest back towards 97.50, that would be ideal for longs, as the daily time frame still points to gains at least towards the top side of the triangle, right? So backtest, that backtest on the 4-hour, you'll see it here. Alright, so if we could get it towards 97 again, I'll look for longs to test the upper bounds of that region towards 100. 100 flat is also psychological resistance, but the bigger picture still goes for a breakout. With this divergence that has been very deep, I prefer a breakdown to the downside, with the A wave being around 94, and then the B wave, that top side of 101.50, then given downside targets towards 92. Right? That'll be the first target. However, we still need a breakout for confirmation. In either case, if we do break to the top side, then we're just bullish, looking for new highs above 104 to mark even deeper divergence before a possible turnaround. Aussie Yen, another pair we were in. This one is pointing to a straight shot to the top side, so to say. I'm looking for a 98.80. I don't like longs at this area, so similar to Dollar Yen, look for setbacks for longs. You see the same thing across the board, Kiwi Yen, etc., etc. Now with those risk pairs, so to say, against the yen, looking for longs, ideally you'll look for the same thing with the majors. It's just obviously we just need this back and forth that lawmakers in the U.S. are doing to kind of get past us already. It's taking a little bit too long. So until then, I expect further consolidation. But looking again for Aussie Kiwi, pound dollar is actually another good setup in my opinion. If it could somewhat gap down or stay flat, you see here I have two alerts. But I do like it as we're holding the trendline support that has been intact since the 148 lows. If we hold or just hold the trend line, I'll look for longs towards 161, which is the next critical ceiling, and then look for a reversal from there. That being said, we'll see what the Aussie and Kiwi does, but this gives us about 100, 200 pips, and then go back to looking for downside. We still have that weekly triangle or the weekly resistance topside that has held, and then we just needed to get back below. I'll tell you the marker in 2 seconds. Actually, it's at a perfect sort of stance. So continue downside, and then this is much deeper, as if this is indeed a 4th wave triangle, then you're looking for 135, which may take months into maybe even a year. Obviously, I don't plan on holding the trade for that long. I'll just look to get in and out, but still keep that viewpoint intact. Alright guys, thank you for watching the weekend video. I'll talk to you all in the chat room. Feel free to Skype me at wtcg.mike, or you can email us at trade@rightinv. Cheers everyone, enjoy the weekend. We also have a holiday on Monday, I believe, so expect further consolidation, but again, if there's a decision made amongst the Senate, then expecting some increased volatility. Alright guys, cheers and good luck trading.